Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Crime Talk, and my name is Scott Reich. Thanks for joining us. A quick preview of today's docket. Lori Vallow's grown son doesn't trust her. Why should we? Amber Heard rests and the court denies Depp's motion to dismiss the case. I'll explain. Make sure your facts are correct before you do stupid things. Pull this prank only once. And a good old-fashioned murder out of jealousy, it looks like, down in Texas. And probably one of the dumbest dumb criminals we've ever seen. And I mean it. Let's talk about it. All right, aficionados, you know the drill. Subscribe if you haven't. Like the video if you do. Leave me a comment below. And remember to hit that bell so you receive notifications when we go live or put up new content. And remember, you can always listen to us on your favorite podcasting app simply by searching Scott Reich Crime Talk. Normally, we do our live program tonight, but due to some scheduling conflicts, we will be unable to do that this evening, but we will do it tomorrow night, Wednesday. So please join us. Now, I'm also told that there's something now called Super Thanks. Not exactly sure how that works or how you do it, but I've been told I should let you know that it's kind of like a super chat, but you can do it for your daily videos. Just saying. Before we get into today's docket, please support the people that support the channel. Now, there's an old saying that says, when it's raining is not the time to go buy an umbrella. It means you have to be prepared. And when an emergency hits, that is not the time to try and prepare. That is why you need to go to CrimeTalkPrep.com, and there is a special where you will get $150 off a 3-month emergency food supply. This food will last for up to 25 years, and the beautiful thing is it actually tastes really good. Okay? Now, until now, in my 52 years on this earth, I have never seen or experienced food shortages in America. And when you walk into a store, the shelves are empty in some spots. Unbelievable, crazy. So when you go to CrimeTalkPrep.com, you can not only save on this money, but you will be prepared for the unexpected. Now, people have figured out that one small piece in the supply chain cog can cause a shortage rather quickly and without notice. You need to be prepared. Remember, the cavalry is not coming to take care of you. You must be ready to take care of yourself and your family. So go to CrimeTalkPrep.com so that you can sleep secure if the unexpected happens, and you'll be prepared for your family as well. All right, May 24th, 2022. Let's go ahead and open the docket. The first thing on the docket today, Lori Vallow's own son, her oldest son, Colby Ryan. He's 26, and he is speaking out about his mother and saying some not very nice things. Now, he still has problems accepting the charges against her. I'm sure that would be hard for anybody to know that your mother could kill your siblings, right? Kind of hard to come to terms with. And obviously, everybody knows she goes to trial in October, and she is charged with the killing of her 2 children, Ryan's sibling, Tylee and JJ. Now, as people may recall, the siblings vanished back in September of 2019, and Ryan said that his mother, Lori Vallow, refused to tell him what was going on for months after their disappearance. Ryan said that he asked his mother at least 100 times what is going on, and the only answer that she would give is everything will be revealed soon. Now, pretty early on, he apparently reached out to his mother, and she was being shady about everything before she cut ties with everybody, including him. When asked what is going on with his brothers and sisters, and if they were in fact alive, Ryan said he never believed that his mother, who was he thought he was close to, was capable of murder. Ryan never knew his biological father, and he and his mother moved around the country rather frequently. Ryan said he thought his mom leaned on him for emotional support, forcing him to grow up a little faster. Ryan also said that he and Lori Vallow had a special bond, which felt more like friends. She would take him to do fun things, and then they faced everything together. Ryan said this bond broke when Lori Vallow married her third husband, Joseph Ryan, Tylee's biological father, who he alleges physically and sexually abused him. Then around 2006, Vallow's fixation with doomsday cults began, so Ryan according to his words, moved out. When he was around 11 years old, Ryan said he believed everything Lori was saying about doomsday cults because he trusted her. It wasn't until he turned 17 or 18 that he decided to live his life the way he wanted to live his life. And he says that he can't live his life of impending fear of something that's going to happen. He just said he couldn't live like that. It made him absolutely anxious. So he never bought in the idea that the whole world was going to come to an end. When he heard about his mother's crimes, Ryan said that he was overcome with anger and his mother for taking his family away from him. He said he actually contemplated finding a way of seeking revenge, but realized that that was not the answer. Ryan, now father of two, says he constantly misses his siblings, Tylee and JJ, and but added that part of things in life are that you need to let them go. If you're holding on to things like that, you just wish you were here. He said that he loves them and misses his siblings. Even though his mother could face the death penalty, Ryan says that is somewhat hard to accept, but he did say, I've given up the fact that it's not going to change anything no matter what happens. I know they're in jail. I know they can't hurt anybody, and that's the best that he can ask for. So, Lori Vallow's son, Ryan, obviously he gets it. He knows his mom's not coming home, and he also sounds like he had, a pretty dysfunctional childhood because maybe mom was a little dysfunctional early on. But the key thing here is that guess what? He could be a witness against his mother because anything she says can and will be used against her. And if the district attorneys did not already know about these statements, these are statements that the district attorney could call Ryan to the stand to testify against his mother and say, what did she say when the children were gone? Don't worry about it. They're fine. Guess what? Shows consciousness of guilt, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, this is not a who done it, so to speak. There's a conspiracy charge. So if one person did it that's charged or an unknown, unindicted co-conspirator, they could all be found guilty as well. So just interesting that Lori Vallow's own son doesn't trust her. Well, guess what? Probably chances are pretty good. Neither should we. All right, on to the next circus. Depp versus Heard. Today, Amber Heard rested her case in her civil suit between her ex-husband Johnny Depp without calling Johnny Depp to the stand. Heard's lawyers had initially suggested that they would call Depp as a witness, but ultimately opted against calling Depp. Now, the judge was then asked by Depp's attorneys to toss out the $100 million counterclaim that Ms. Heard had filed against Depp. The judge said denied. Okay, the counterclaim alleges that Depp's then lawyer, Adam Waldman, defamed Heard when he called her abuse allegations a hoax. The judge cited the correct legal ruling that the bar for tossing out a claim before it goes to the jury is exceedingly high and said there is enough evidence to allow the matter to go forward. The judge had already ruled that Depp could be held responsible for the statements made by Depp's lawyer, a legal principle that Depp's team disputes. So what does this really mean? Okay, you remember when Johnny Depp's attorneys rested their case? Then Heard's case got up and asked for a directed verdict and saying, Judge, there's no way a reasonable jury could conclude that Miss Heard did anything improper. Well, a motion for a directed verdict at the end of a party's case is similar in a criminal case. At the end of the prosecution's case, the defense moves for a motion for judgment of acquittal. But the legal standard is the same. The judge has to view all the evidence in the light most favorable to the party that's making those allegations. The court should not substitute their judgment, basically become the 13th lawyer, and not let the jury deliberate. The bottom line is there's enough evidence that's been presented by both parties, which creates a question of fact. That's what juries decide. Questions of fact, not who's the cooler defendant or plaintiff, okay? Not who has the biggest rooting section. They decide what is true. When you have people that have two different recollections of what took place, the jury decides who they're going to believe. And I know some people are absolutely, completely against Miss Heard. I get it. She does not sound like someone you want to spend much time with. And other people are absolutely for Johnny Depp, and he can do no wrong, no matter what was said or presented by anybody, including the experts. But the reality of it only matters what 12 people decide. And my experience is jurors take their jobs very seriously, whether it be a criminal case or a civil case, because, well, in reality, it's usually the biggest decision that they will ever have to face, and therefore they want to get it correct, and they take their job seriously. Like I said, who knows what will happen? Friday finally will be closing arguments. We'll see what happens with Depp's case in rebuttal. How much do they go into? We know that Case Moss is supposed to testify. That's the former supermodel that dated Johnny Depp, who apparently is going to deny that she was ever abused in any way. Okay, it doesn't really matter. It only really matters as it relates to acts of domestic abuse against Miss Heard. This judge that's doing this case, I'm a little surprised. For 6 weeks for a trial on something like this. I mean, this is like the Judge Ito on the East Coast, going back to the O.J. Simpson case, where it just keeps going and going. I'm telling you, in any other jurisdiction, this trial would have lasted no more than about 8 days total. But that's what happens when you don't have strong judges who allow nonsense to come in. Next on the docket, you better get your facts straight. Okay, before you start accusing people of something, because a woman in Tennessee was arrested for allegedly holding her husband at gunpoint during a child support dispute. Okay, the Shelby County deputies responded to a call at the victim's home and were met by a woman by the name of LaShawna Hall, who said that the victim had locked her out. The victim claimed that Hall was supposed to come over to his home and comb their autistic daughter's hair, but instead she started yelling at him over a late child support payment. The husband claimed he tried to de-escalate the situation, but Miss Hall pulled out a Beretta pistol, for those of you who don't know, causing their daughter to scream. Hall allegedly blamed her husband for being late on her rent, then pulled out a firearm and said, "It's about to get bad in here." The victim says that Hall has depression and believes she is off her medications. Hall also told the police that the gun just fell out of her purse during a struggle, and she didn't point the gun at anybody. Well, needless to say, she was arrested after police discovered the gun under a couch cushion. Oh, and by the way, guess what? The husband showed proof on his phone that he had made the child support payment. So just remember, ladies and gentlemen, before you go off on people and start pulling guns on them, maybe you better double, triple check to make sure that what you're accusing them of is actually true. Because now, guess what? Ms. Hall went to jail on a domestic violence charge and been released on a $1,000 bond. Boy, I bet she feels just a little bit silly right about now. Okay, listen, if your friends pull this prank, guess what? If it's going to be like this particular case, they're only going to do it once. Police were called to reports of a shooting in Jackson, Mississippi, and the Jackson police chief said that Christopher Patton, who was 15, and two passengers, later identified as Darion McGowan and Jaquius Galloway, pulled up in front of the home of Joshua Davis. Now, he's only 16. As Davis, Patton, and the two others were wearing masks and toting water guns, which the police said looked rather real, Davis, that's right, Mr. Davis, the 16-year-old, then pointed a real gun at Patton, shooting him once in the chest, killing his friend. Which begs the question, why is this 16-year-old having a gun? Gee, I don't know. If we follow that logic like a lot of people wanted to the other day, we should charge the parents. Maybe we should. But the point is, I don't know what kind of friends these guys are that they show up with masks and fake guns for a simulated robbery and then get shot. Not very good. Maybe they could have been the dumb criminal because it's the best one yet. So the police said all these friends were involved, and they described the shooting as a prank gone wrong. And therefore, guess what? No one will, in fact, be charged. Next on the docket, a good old-fashioned alleged homicide for some jealousy reasons. We need to get back to true crime here, ladies and gentlemen. Well, police are now searching for Caitlin Marie Armstrong, who they believe is involved regarding the murder of a professional cyclist by the name of Anna Mariah Wilson. Now, neighbors of the home of Miss Wilson in Texas, where the professional cyclist was killed, reported not hearing any gunshots and suggested the killer may have used a silencer. So a neighbor guy by the name of David Harris, who lives next door to where Wilson was killed, said he didn't hear a gun go off on May 11th in the home in Austin, Texas. And Harris said he may have heard the shooter fleeing on Wilson's bicycle, which was discovered and found about 60 feet from the crime scene. Now, Wilson had reportedly gone swimming with Armstrong's boyfriend, pro cyclist Colin Strickland, shortly before her body was found with multiple gunshot wounds. Another neighbor said she also did not hear gunshots and that her dogs were only awoken by the ambulance and the police arriving. The woman also provided surveillance video from the front of the property, which authority believes show Armstrong's Jeep at the shooting. Oh, that pesky Ring doorbell stuff. It's just getting more and more people. If the police just had the time to catch everybody. Well, the 2012 black Jeep Cherokee with license plate LDZ 5608 is missing. Armstrong's boyfriend told investigators he had been in a relationship with her for 3 years, but had a little fling with Miss Wilson while on a break in October. A tipster told the police that when Armstrong learned about Strickland's relationship with Wilson, she became furious and was shaking in anger and wanted to kill Wilson. Strickland told authorities he had changed Wilson's number in his phone and deleted text messages to prevent Miss Armstrong from finding them. Officials said that Strickland bought 2 handguns around the same time, one for himself and one for Armstrong. Police said they found Armstrong's 9mm handgun at the home where she lives with Strickland. Investigators who compared shell casings from the pistol to those found at the home where Wilson was gunned down said the likelihood that the same weapon was used is significant. On May 17th, Austin police issued an arrest warrant for Miss Armstrong. We'll see how that one ends. Somehow I think it's going to end poorly, but if it does go to trial, it will be interesting for sure. And today, our dumb criminal, probably one of the dumbest we've had in a long, long time. A man entered a concealed carry class in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's right, going into a concealed carry class where people have weapons. Keep that in mind. Well, this gentleman began rummaging through a bag attempting to steal a gun from one of the class participants. The suspect was escorted out of the classroom while another gun store employee called the police. 3 employees escorted the suspect out of the store when he is met in the parking lot by 2 police officers. The suspect then produced a screwdriver from his pocket and began attacking the police officers, stabbing one of the officers. When the injured officer fell to the ground, the officer and 3 gun store employees opened fire on the suspect, striking him 14 times. The suspect died at the scene. The injured officer was taken to a hospital and recovered from the stab wound and a broken facial bone. This unidentified person, as you can see, doing one of the dumbest things you could possibly do. You don't go robbing the gun store. You don't go robbing the police station. Why? Because there's people there with guns and they're not afraid to use them, ladies and gentlemen. This person, I think, has been catapulted to first place for the dumb criminal of the day. Now, since the dumb criminal is deceased, he will be awarded this fine award posthumously, but the reality of it is, man, that's dumb. It wouldn't be the dumb criminal of the day if it was smart. All right, thanks for watching. No live or Patreon tonight. We're going to do it tomorrow night, and I'll explain to you why we had to do that tomorrow night. We'll see you next time on Crime Talk.